Huwag yung kayong magkadisgrasyahan tayo niyan. Sinasabi ko yung madidisgrasya kayo. At madidisgrasya kayo. Hindi ako urong dito. And I said, I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
At sa Chinese ambassador. Can we play it, please?
Uson. Michael Yang, ang ambasador ng China dyan natutulog sa bahay niya. At saka kasama yan doon sa entourage ni Premier China. Sa maya minsan yung ng laro ng pulis. There's I do not know. That guy is, he went there. Kanya na yung lahat, puro department store. Pumunta yan siya sa Davao, sir. Nag-command conference kami, si Sid pa noon, Lapenya. Lumapit siya, di ba si command conference, sabi ko, kaya sa kanya na, sabi niya, kung gusto ba niya magpasok ako ng mga negosyante. Sabi ko, oo. Tapos dala-dala niya yung dalawang bayong na cellphone para consignment lang. Talagang naghirap yan. And he became close to the kaya pag nandyan siya, nandyan yan siya. Hindi ko talaga alam ang laro niya na. He could be, sabihin mo, drug addict, pa-drug push. Ngayon lang yan, may nilabas na 12 na sierto will expose them. Go ahead, sabi ko. And you'd be surprised. Bukuhin ka ng Chinese government yan. Kasama-kasama palagi. Yung kasama-kasama palagi ni Ambassador Xiao. Hindi mo rin maloko yan. Military yan eh. Yung ambassador natin, military yan. China. Kaloko. Corruption. Bakit dyan sa droga? Lahat na lang. Pero ngayon lang yan lumalabas nila yung si Michael Yang. Pero ang totoo niyan, sir, yung DCLA ng Davao, kanya yan. Marami yan sila. Then the investors came. Puro tapos nag-divert sa Turil. Ngayon, nandoon na sa Makilala. Doon na, pumasok na yung the typical Chinese store. Pero sabihin mo, yung Michael Yang lalabas ni Sir. Oo, yan. Hindi yan totoo. Tagal na yan sa sabi ko nga doon sa Tuman Conference, sabi ko na magnegosyo ka dito, sabi ko. These are my exact words. Putang inaw, do not fuck with drugs because I will bury you alive. Yun talaga ang warning ko dyan. Pero ang duda ko, yung parang mga negosyante na kasama niya. Pati si Ambassador. Tsaka yung pagdating ni Premier, nandito yan. He was a member of that entourage. Maloko mo kaya ng China. China man nagsasabi sa atin na at any given time, there are about...
I think it's very clear that what the president meant to say was, number one, he cannot believe that Michael Yang is involved in the drug trade. And number two, because he was saying he could not believe that Michael Yang is involved in the drug trade, the report that the president linked the Chinese ambassador to a drug lord is obviously false. That report by Rappler is wrong, false, even malicious. It is also very dangerous because it could possibly endanger the bilateral relations between the Philippines and China. I call on Rappler to be responsible and to give the profession of journalism a favor by issuing the corresponding errata and to correct its story. The story is based on a speech which we had just seen. Their interpretation of what the president meant, of course, has absolutely no basis, and it is only but proper if they have any sense of responsible journalism that they correct their story. It's important that they correct their story because their story has in turn been cited by international wire agencies, and obviously because it has gone international, it would have dire consequences for the diplomatic relations between the Philippines and China. Moving on, I'd like to stress that yesterday I did say I had no personal knowledge about whether or not the president went to the hospital. I also said that he was on day off and that he had private time. I'd like to stress that Article 7, Section 2 of the Philippine Constitution only provides that it is only in case of serious illness of the president is there a requirement that the public be informed of the state of his health. Now, the president, from his own mouth, took a diagnostic examination. Depending on the diagnostic examination or the results of the diagnostic examination, we will probably find out if it is serious or not. But the fact that he went for a diagnostic test is not an information that the public has a right to know. And this is because medical condition, unless it is serious, according to the Constitution, is covered by the right to privacy. Perhaps let me quote from the case of Campbell, albeit it is a foreign case involving Naomi Campbell, and whether or not her picture coming out of a drug rehab clinic can be publicized. And the UK House of Lords says that there was no restraint of freedom of the press, and the court, in fact, issued an injunction, said, and I quote, "Respecting the confidentiality of health data is a vital principle in the legal systems. It is crucial not only to respect the sense of privacy of a patient, but also to preserve his or her confidence in the medical profession and in the health services in general." We still adopt the same rule in the Philippines, with the lone exception that if you're president and there's a serious illness, the public must be informed. And finally, I've been asked to comment on what the president said in the same affair about me staying put. Knowing the president, I think he was, well, prior to this speech, we had a command conference where the president asked me to stay and offered me a position which currently does not exist yet. No? While there was no categorical agreement on what to do, I did say I will consider it, and I wanted the weekend to think it over. He mentioned it again in the PMA affair, but I think the manner by which he mentioned it was typical Duterte. He cariño brutal, if you need to put it, but I think he has sent the message that he prefers that I stay. What will be my response? I need a weekend. I need to ponder on this point, and although I will say that, like you, I was taken aback about the diagnostic examination. I did not lie to anyone because I simply did not know. And in my decision on whether or not to run or to accept whatever the office the president may have, I will consider the fact that in this capacity as spokesperson, I must know everything about the president. And I do concede that his going to that diagnostic exam was something that I did not know, and therefore, I'm inclined to believe that perhaps I am not in a position to continue with his current function. Thank you very much.
Teka muna, unahin ko muna to, sir. Sir,
No
Q&A.
questions na.
Secretary, okay.
Okay.
Si Raymond Tinasa. Questions. Microphone.
Doon lang sa, para may lagay sa tamang konteksto din. Sir, bakit pala naungkat ng Pangulo yung kaso ni Michael Yang or alleged involvement or whatever sa drug? Meron ba siyang, iniimbestigahan ba si Michael Yang or nasa drug list ba siya? At
Hindi ko po alam, pero parang may sinasabi na may bali-balita na involved si Michael Yang.
So, yun ang konteksto kaya para nililinis na ngayon ng Pangulo itong si Michael Yang.
Sinasabi niya, hindi ako naniniwala dyan.
Okay.
So the report of
Pia.
Rappler was the exact opposite.
Okay, thank
He
you.
was defending Michael Yang.
Pia.
Sir, could you clarify your last sentence, are you resigning?
I have said that I needed the weekend to think about my options, but as you can see, I cannot be effective as a spokesperson unless I know everything about the president. Now people think I lied. I'm telling the nation I did not know.
May I follow up? Jinky.
Sir, sorry. Sir, with your due respect po, may pagkakataon ba talagang hindi ka po sinasabihan ng presidente kung saan siya pupunta or pupunta man siya ng ospital?
I have kasi a copy of his schedule, and there's only two of us in the cabinet who do have that schedule. But there's a lot of entries there that only contains private time. So when it's private time, I take it, it's private time, no? So that's what I say, private time. The private time is something that I got from his calendar. Now, I understand that this is not even something that my predecessors enjoyed, and I appreciate the trust and confidence of the president that, unlike other spokespersons, I had access even to his daily schedule. No? But you can see what happened. I was in the dark, and now, how can people believe me when I just said that he had private time and apparently he had a diagnostic examination? But analyzing what I said, I did say that I had no personal knowledge and that he had a private time, and even a diagnostic medical examination is in fact covered by private time. But I do realize I cannot be effective unless I have full access to what the president is doing and his current condition.
Sir, having said so, masakit po ba ang loob nyo?
Secretary Alan Cayetano told me that I should not just pray for what I should do. He told me to look for an objective sign. And I think this is an objective sign that I'm looking for.
Ina, follow up?
Sir, sorry kasi umalis ka na kanina eh. Just soon after you said that you're not inclined to continue with this current function, and then you sort of attempted to leave. Were you quitting? Ano po yun?
Let's just say, as I said, I will think twice about my options. I need a weekend now to decide. It goes without saying that if I do file, I'm considered resigned from this position. But I do confirm, as the president said, that he offered me another job, which is still related to being a spokesperson.
Did you seek an explanation on why you were not informed about this? Maybe from SAP, Bongo, or whoever else that may have told you?
This came as a complete surprise to me as well, because he announced it in the command conference. So there was really no occasion to talk to the president. I just knew that, people will think I lied. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I did not know, and not knowing is not the same as lying.
Okay, Maricel, follow up.
Sir, when you mentioned that the president offered you a new position, are you referring to the office of the press secretary?
It's difficult to actually say because that position does not exist. And my apprehension is I'm already a year as spokesperson. I do not have an executive order creating the position of the office of the spokesperson. So in making a decision on what to do, it's difficult to actually consider a position that currently does not exist, and the track record that I have served for a year with no executive order. So as I said, I am a Christian, I pray, and from a fellow Christian, Secretary Alan, who said I should look for an objective sign, I'm reading everything as part of an objective sign.
So what will convince you, sir, to stay as the presidential spokesperson?
As I said, I'll need the weekend to think about things.
Sir, just to follow up dun sa information kay Presidente, ano na yung additional information that you learned about the health of the President?
Whatever I know is from what exactly he has said. I do not know anything more than everyone else. That's an assurance to the public that the President is not inclined to hide anything about his health, because it came from his own mouth. Kaya naman po ina-assure ko ang taong bayan, hindi po kayo pagtataguan ng presidente. Ang hinihingi ko lang ang kanyang pagkakaintindi na when I said he was on his personal time, hindi ko rin talaga kasi alam. And that was what it was in his calendar. So, yun lang din ang aking sinabi.
And sir, he mentioned last night about cancer. Of course, he's not admitting that he has one. But why is it necessary for the president to mention that?
Endoscopy is what he underwent. And I think endoscopy was recommended from his own words in the General Command Conference, because they wanted just to be sure that there was a growth and that they wanted to know more about the growth. No? So I think that's the context of why he said, if it's cancer, it's cancer. But as I said, the result of the examination, whether or not it could be made public, will depend on what they find out. If it's not serious, we have no right to inquire into it. If it is serious, he will be compelled to share it with the nation.
Tina, follow up?
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, in any family, sir, pag may sakit yung parent mo, sibling mo, you are concerned. Gusto mo ng treatment o kung medyo malala, you want to prolong yung magkaroon siya ng quality life. Since the president is the father of the nation, ano bang real state, or ang tanong siguro, is the president dying?
Hindi naman po siguro, no? Kasi kaya ko nga po pinakita yung video para ipakita na malakas po si Presidente. Pero ang sabi naman niya kahapon, name a 73-year-old na walang karamdaman. So, kung meron man siyang karamdaman, he thinks it's not out of the ordinary. And again, uulitin ko po, dahil nanggaling na nga sa bibig ni Presidente, hindi po para itago ito ng Presidente sa taong bayan.
So right now, sir, it's not considered a serious illness.
Right now, we don't know because he went for a diagnostic exam.
Sir, a diagnostic exam since 3 weeks ago, tapos endoscopy again, it's not normal, I think.
Well, I think from what he
undergo.
said, and again, you see, it's still private information, but because he made it public, I feel that I can restate it. No, so he said yes, he had a diagnostic test before his speech in Cebu, and they wanted to clarify something, and that's why it was limited to upper endoscopy. No, that's all that I know from what he said.
Sir, yung growth, are you referring to a tumor or?
Hindi ko po alam pero may tinignan na sa upper
So,
endoscopy.
if you
As I
remove-
said, beyond what he has said, he's still entitled to privacy in this matter. No, I do not know. If I'm still here next week, then I will tell him perhaps we need to issue a medical bulletin, whether or not it's serious. Perhaps we would need to bring in your physician because it's the only way to stop all talk about your health. But I do not know also where I will be next week.
Well, sir, it's just not all talk, sir, kasi it's a serious concern from the public. That's
It
why
is a
we want
serious
to
concern,
know. Thank you, sir.
and we hope it is because the nation is concerned. But as I assure you, as a lawyer, he knows what the Constitution says. If it's a serious illness, he will inform the nation.
Okay, follow up. Pia.
Sir, you said that you will be taking the weekend to think about things. Ano po yung mga factors that you would be taking into consideration before making your decision?
Well, number one really is how effective I can continue in this position or in a position similar to what I'm doing right now. I think it was very serious that I did not know what was going on.
You said a position similar to what you're doing right now, sir.
Yeah.
Basically confirming that he offered you the position of
No, I
Press
can't
Secretary.
say because wala pa pong ganung posisyon. It's a suggestion made by the senators, and it came from the Senate President, and I understand that they, in fact, had discussed about this matter. No, that much I know.
Did the President tell you, sir, what he intends to do with Secretary Martin Andanar?
Well, I leave that for the President to announce. There will be major revamp because there's at least possibly 6 cabinet members filing their certificates of candidacy. So there will be new appointments to be made next week.
Sir, before the President made his decision not to appoint you to another position at hindi na sa senador, kinausap po ba kayo ni Presidente?
That was the
binigay po
first
siyang
time that he talked to me. In fact, he talked to me in private, but in the presidential table of the command conference. And after we talked, he also said something in public that si Harry Roque, ayaw ko nang wag mag-ingay-ingay muna siya dyan, bibigyan ko siya ng ibang trabaho, but he also did not specify in public what it was. No, that's why I thought when I read an article from somewhere that it was a report on the command conference. I did not know that he said something else in the PMA affair because I had left already by that time.
Were you surprised by the president's decision? Kasi previously, sir, parang he gave the idea na he's supporting your bid for the Senate.
Yes and no, because when I came on board, it was clear it was to be for a year. And the general context was, in fact, it was to prepare me for the year, no, for what would happen a year later, no. But I also was not surprised because I knew that he also wanted me to stay, no, and to continue with my undertaking, no. But as I said, it's difficult to continue unless people believe me, and now I think people will not believe me because of the incident on his health.
Last na lang, sir, may pagtatampo po ba kayo sa Pangulo?
Wala. Nothing at all.
Bakit, sir?
Tuesday?
Wala.
Sir, sabi niyo itong weekend mag-iisip kayo. So by Monday po ba magkikita-kita pa rin tayo? May press briefing ka pa as presidential spokesperson o press secretary na?
Let's just say that on Monday you will find out about my plans, finally.
Okay.
Okay.
Ina?
Sir, going back on the President's health, just to be clear about it, kailan po nakita yung growth? Was it seen after, kumbaga yung result ng first endoscopy?
Again,
colonoscopy?
hindi ko alam kung ano yung in-undergo niya. Dalawa yung in-undergo niya eh. Pinagtatawa natin yung mga doktor
Colonoscopy
eh.
and endoscopy.
Yung doktor ng something, bowel, right? So, doktor niya yun dun eh, no? So, he had a general exam and after which, I suppose, no, from what he said in the command conference, they wanted a more specific exam, zeroing in on something.
So, which means, yun nga, nakita pala doon sa first
Nakita po
set
sa first.
of tests.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Tanong muna kay from Pia Rañada, sir. From Rappler, Secretary. By exonerating Michael Young from drug links, is PRRD acting prematurely given there is an investigation into Young's drug
Naku, Pia,
involvement?
correct mo muna yung story mo bago kita sagutin.
And number two, which
Kung ikaw naman ay gagawa rin sarili mong kwento, useless na yung pagsasagot ko sa'yo. I'm so sorry. I'm not in a position. I'm not in the mood to answer you now dahil nakita namin kung ano yung video at ano yung storya mo.
Ito po yung second question niya. Which government agency is probing Michael Young? Why is PRD casting doubt?
As I said, correct
on
mo
the
muna yung storya mo. I need to believe in you, no, before I could respond to you. Napakalayo naman report mo dun sa nakita nating talumpati ni Presidente. Kaya naman nag-iisa ka nag-report ng ganyan.
Ralph. Microphone.
Sir, would you know po kung ilan yung growth na nakita?
Hindi ko nga po alam. Wala na akong alam. Ikaw naman. Kaya nga medyo hindi na ako karapat-dapat dito dahil wala akong alam, no?
Thank you, sir.
I'm so
Tina.
sorry about that, but there's
Tina.
nothing I can do about it.
Question? Wala na? Okay na? No more questions?
Okay?
Nestor. Okay, thank you, Presidential
Thank you.
Spokesperson Harry
I'll
Roque.
see you on Monday, definitely.
Wow. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Back to main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.